It just sounds like you're truly stuck in the mind of an insane person or something. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am Molly, and in this video I'm going to be listening to the album The Serenity of Suffering by Korn. Now I have been taking a journey through all of Korn's albums here on my channel, and I've been going in order of when they were released. The last one I heard was their 11th studio album, The Paradigm Shift, which definitely infused some of that awesome Korn heaviness that I loved back into their music. So I'm really excited to check out The Serenity of Suffering now and see if they continue to kind of go in that heavier direction with their sound again. So yeah, let's dive right on into my reaction. Alright, so starting off with track 1 is Insane. Okay, so right off the bat, I think my question as to whether or not this album was going to be heavy or not has been answered. There's this amazing open echoey quality on the vocals here. Man, they have such a big impact to them. And we've got those subtle turntable effects going on too. I'm picking up on that. These voices going on in the background. It just sounds like you're truly stuck in the mind of an insane person or something. Well, that was track 1, Insane. Such an explosive, heavy start to that album. I loved it. It was a very clean, streamlined sounding song in a way. It had all of that really atmospheric stuff going on. They kind of had a certain echoey quality to the vocals at times, which I was really enjoying. It almost gave that track a sort of futuristic tone to it. But I'm going to move on with track 2, which is called Rotting in Vain. I always love when the heaviness comes flooding in. There's something about this track that is really reminiscent to me of their album Issues. It kind of has a similar quality to its tone, like it could have fit on that album really well. I love that the bass is so prominent on this one too. Classic Korn right here with these crazy vocals. That was track 2, Rotting in Vain. I definitely feel like Korn is kind of coming back into form with, so far, this album and their previous album too, The Paradigm Shift. That track, Rotting in Vain, just really fused that sort of futuristic quality that they've played around with, but they brought back all of that awesome heaviness that I love, and you had the quirkiness too from those like weird vocals Jonathan Davis was doing. So up next is track 3, which is called Black is the Soul. There's such a crushing heaviness to this song, but I'm picking up on these really subtle electronic noises. That's like a sprinkling of light going on behind all of that. And there's a faceless cries. Why are we going on this way? Never follow. This track is definitely a little bit more slowed down than the previous two, but it still just has so much heaviness to it. It's almost like they're taking all of these different layers and they're piling them up and condensing them almost, and it's just like this thick wall of sound that's just crushing you.
And when you scream, you push me so much further. And when I leave, give me back my life. Why are we going?
It just sounds like they're in outer space on this album. There's such a strong atmospheric element to it. That was track 3, Black is the Soul. A really drawn out, kind of slowed down song. I loved how immense that one was. They're bringing it with the heaviness, with the instrumentals and the vocals and everything, but they're still doing all of this playful stuff, but it's got a sort of electronic undercurrent to it, which is just really giving this album a sort of smoothness. It's hard to explain. It just has like this really modern quality to its sound. But I'm gonna move on to track 4, which is called The Hating. You knew that was coming, all of that explosiveness.
Cheating, the time that I have left needing my soul, 'cause that's the best. Bud, that keeps me fed. I feel it all come crashing down on me.
I always do enjoy when Jonathan Davis changes up his voice a lot. On the line that keeps me fed is just so deep and dark, and then it just gets so much lighter. It's like it rises up out of that on the chorus. They're building up so much tension here. You had that guitar, and then that second set of vocals just sounded so ominous. Okay, that was really cool. So track 4, The Hating, just went right into track 5 there. So I want to pause it really quick. But man, The Hating, that song was so layered. I was really absorbed in all of the sounds that were going on because you had that wall of denseness and heaviness coming at you. But like I said, they just were putting on all of these sounds going on in the background too that added all of these little touches that I loved. But continuing on with track 5, we have A Different World, and this one is featuring Corey Taylor, so this should be interesting.
I dream of the past, transparency through, they constantly fight and collide.
There's almost a bounciness to this song.
Feel me, kill me, my back's up against the wall. My friend, this ain't the end.
Alright, that's definitely Corey screaming away in the background.
You can't find me. Feel me, kill me. Inside us all we keep constraints on the strangers. Get you water?
I'm not gonna lie, this is honestly kind of strange, hearing these very Korn instrumentals with Corey's voice. It's like two worlds colliding.
My friend, this ain't the end.
That was track 5, A Different World. Really, really echoey out that one. I loved everything that they were doing with the instrumentals, especially too how they would have Corey's screams more in the background almost as kind of like a backup vocal behind Jonathan Davis. Except for that bridge part where Corey Taylor came in and kind of took over lead vocals, they were kind of using Corey's voice more as like an atmospheric element almost. Moving on to track 6 is Take Me. Again, I'm picking up on this electronic stuff really faintly going on. I'm really enjoying it.
It's you, it's you. Take me, it's calling me. Go.
What are these background vocals?
Take me,
That was track 6, Take Me. I really enjoyed the chorus on that one, how it was like the song opened up and just almost sounded ethereal in a way. Like his voice was just really smooth, but then there were elements of that song that were really sharp and quick too, kind of like a punch of energy coming in, and they were just delivered with a lot of quickness. Okay, moving on to track 7 is Everything Falls Apart.
Close your eyes, fall asleep, drift away tonight. Just drift away.
These vocal effects, they're adding so much to this album just in terms of like this amazing floaty atmospheric quality.
Alibis, go flash your lights. Everything falls apart. Eyes in over now. No more feelings or surprise.
Right there when he said no more, there was like vocal distortion that they were using on it. It's like all those little things they're doing, I just love. That right there is what I love from Korn's music. They infuse so much of a playfulness sort of with it. Like how they had all those voices coming in to mimic the voices in his head. That was track 7, Everything Falls Apart. I really liked that one. It was just a really fun song. All of the stuff they were doing. Again, just an amazing blend of different elements. It had a lot of heaviness and explosiveness from his voice, but then with the electronic things and the flashes of echoiness too that they would use, it's just giving this entire album this really floaty outer space quality. It's really cool to me how they're achieving that, but they're still bringing a ton of heaviness too. But moving on to track 8, we have Die Yet Another Night.
Sick of all these things I tried. My mind.
So are those the voices in his head he keeps mentioning, saying that he's a bad man and a dead man? Okay, this part right here is actually reminding me of Muse a little bit, that instrumental part. There's a really strong sinister quality to this song. They do a really good job of kind of building it up, building all of this tension. All this suffering left to do. That was track 8, Die Yet Another Night. That track was almost in a way reversed from a lot of the other songs on this album in that the chorus was kind of the more punchy, snappy part, and then the verse had that really smooth, kind of withdrawn quality to it. The instrumentals too had a really clean, streamlined sound. I mean, they still had that Korn heaviness and quirkiness going on too, but there was something kind of rock-esque at times about the instrumentals. Like I said, it kind of reminded me of Muse a little bit with its sound. Up next is track 9, which is When You're Not There. Again, those sounds they're fusing on behind the instrumentals. Some strange vocalizations.
I love it when you hurt me and crack a smile.
Okay, we love the bass shining through like this.
Can't seem to get away. This ghost I'll never find.
was track 9, When You're Not There. Again, it was all of the little things they were doing in the background on that one for me that just really sold me on that song. Just something really dark and demented about it, not only lyrically, but just the sound of that song. It sounded like he was just possessed by something almost, especially with some of those vocals going on. Just kind of a crazy track. But I'm going to move on to track 10, which is Next in Line.
It hurts to breathe, but I don't care.
Okay, some really strong turntable effects coming through on this one.
Digging deeper pulls me under. Oh, next in line, I pace and fret. Then I look and see that.
There's something kind of melodic actually about the chorus on this one. And then that verse has all of those DJ sounds going on and more of a bounciness, kind of a sharpness. That was track 10, Next in Line. I loved the contrast between the two elements of their sound on that one. The chorus was just so smooth, and the verses just brought more of that punchiness, almost a hip-hop style, with the DJ turntable effects and everything going on, and his vocal delivery was a little bit more intense too. Just such a contrast, but then kind of bridging those two elements of their sound together, you have, again, that sort of smooth atmospheric quality, just kind of blending everything together. But I'm going to move on to the final song on the Serenity of Suffering, which is track 11 called Please Come For Me.
Right now, if you could see, right now we're talking, take a look around, help me, the depression's ecstasy.
The Depression's Ecstasy.
You'll never get to me, take a look around.
Yeah, there's a lot of sharpness to this song, a sort of punchiness. The percussion is really coming through strongly too. Man, the echoiness, it's like he's just shouting this in an open canyon or something, and his voice is just bouncing off the walls.
I see this losing little face, please come for me.
Well, that was track 11, Please Come For Me. Just a really explosive one to end this album on, that's for sure. That one just brought a ton of punchiness and heaviness to it. I liked how at the end of that one too, there were two sets of vocals. You had one that was just really dense and heavy, like Jonathan Davis's growly voice, but then there was this second, less prominent, lighter vocal too going on. And they just layered them, and it was kind of like these opposing elements, the light and the heavy, just fused together. Well, that concludes my reaction to the Serenity of Suffering, the 12th studio album by Korn. This was such an atmospheric record, all of that echoiness and a lot of experimentation with subtle electronic things and stuff they were doing. But I thought it was a return to form for Korn in how they fused on so much heaviness too. At times it really did remind me of some of their earlier stuff, especially their album Issues. It kind of reminded me of that one. I loved the opening track, Insane. As soon as they brought in that heaviness, I was really excited for the rest of this album just because I love that sound from Korn. Track 2, Rotting in Vain, was also for sure a standout. I loved that one. And track 7, Everything Falls Apart, I also really liked. That one had a little bit more of a slowed down smoothness to it, but this whole album was really great to listen to. I love that Korn is re-embracing that heavier aspect of their sound that I love so much. And now I just have 2 Korn albums left in my journey through their discography here on my channel. So up next is their 13th studio album, The Nothing, which I am more pumped than ever before to hear. So definitely stay tuned for that reaction. And yeah, as usual, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.